not to exaggerate about things because I'm Cuban and I know we have a tendency to do so, but honestly, I think Snow White might single-handedly ruin Disney's entire 2020.
Disney's magical kingdom is on fire, and Rachel Ziegler is holding the match. Her bold remarks about the Snow White remake have unleashed a fan revolt, triggering a boycott that's spiraling into chaos. A $300 million gamble is now on the verge of collapse. Reshoot are in full panic mode and Ziegler's career hangs by a thread. Has Disney finally pushed its audience too far, or is there still hope to salvage this sinking ship?
Policies hurt shareholders. In new SEC filing, Disney is now admitting that it's been slapped by its own customers for its far-left social and political.
Rachel Ziegler's public comments about the Snow White remake and the original film have ignited fierce criticism, with many fans accusing her of disrespecting a beloved classic instead of celebrating her role in Disney's legacy. Ziegler dismissed the original Snow White as outdated and irrelevant, alienating those who grew up cherishing the story. This isn't the first time a Hollywood star has faced backlash for polarizing remarks. Brie Larson encountered similar pushback during the promotion of Captain Marvel, where her focus on feminist themes divided audiences and cast a shadow over the film's reception. Ziegler remarks, however, have gone further, leading fans to question why Disney chose her to represent a character so deeply rooted in nostalgia and tradition.
Disney is not unique in this dilemma. So many studios are facing the same problems, and the lens has just been focused on Disney for some very understandable reasons.
The Snow White 2025 trailer sparked outrage across social media, with fans criticizing the drastic departure from the original story. The Seven Dwarfs, now portrayed as a diverse group of individuals, and Snow White's reimagined backstory felt like unnecessary changes to many fans expected the classic tale, but were met with what they viewed as forced modernity. The backlash mirrored the reaction to the Little Mermaid trailer, the 2023 version, where casting choices and updates were heavily debated. While both projects aimed for inclusivity, audiences felt the magic of these stories was being overshadowed by messaging. This growing frustration adds to Disney's reputation for controversial remakes, with fans wondering if nostalgia is being sacrificed for corporate agendas.
End of December 2023, Disney had already spent a whopping $269.4 million on this live-action Snow White film. That spending alone actually makes it the most expensive live-action Disney project of all time.
Disney's focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DIY, has been met with mixed reactions, especially when it feels like the heart of a story is being lost. Critics argue that the push for representation in Snow White 2025 overshadowed the original tale, with changes that seemed more focused on meeting quotas than honoring the beloved classic. Warner Bros. Faced similar backlash with their Velma remake, when efforts to diversify the casts were slammed for prioritizing messaging over storytelling. While representation is important, fans feel it should enhance, not replace, authenticity. In the case of Snow White, these concerns only fueled frustration as the film strayed further from the simple, timeless story audience has cherished.
Budget is as overinflated as it is, and we've talked about that on this channel. I see this being another maybe $5 to $10 million loss, just like The Little Mermaid was. Definitely not going to be a good first quarter for Disney.
Disney has already poured a staggering $300 million into Snow White 2025, and with reshoot now on the table, that figure is climbing even higher. These last-minute changes are estimated to add another $10 to $15 million, raising questions about whether the investment can ever be recouped. The situation echoes the financial disaster of John Carter 2012. A similarly high-budget project that failed to resonate with audiences and left Disney reeling. If Snow White flops, the ripple effect could devastate Disney's merchandising plants, with unsold action figures, dolls, and apparel piling up in warehouses. Beyond the immediate losses, this misstep threatens to erode confidence in Disney's long-term strategy, potentially jeopardizing its once reliable live-action remake formula. Disney's promotional strategy for Snow White's 2025 seemed to worsen the backlash at every step. Trailers and posters highlighting the changes to the Seven Dwarfs and Snow White backstory only fueled criticism, leaving audiences feeling like Disney was more focused on pushing agendas than honoring the classic. This echoes the Ghostbusters 2016 marketing disaster, where fan concerns were dismissed as misogyny, alienating the core audience instead of building excitement. Disney campaign amplified frustration, making the movie a symbol of unwanted changes. Rachel Ziegler's own controversial remarks about the original Snow White added more fuel to the fire, blending the film's marketing failures with her public image problems, creating a storm Disney couldn't contain.
They recut the entire film, and now they've released a new trailer And the new trailer is not particularly good. It still has its problems. It's better than the original trailer, however. Here is some of what
Disney modern adapt often struggled to capture the magic of their originals, and Snow 2025 appears to be no exception. By focusing on rewriting core elements, Disney risks alienating fans who treasure the simplicity and nostalgia of the original story. This mirrors the failure of Charlie's Angels, the 2019 version, which updated its premise with modern themes but lost its connection with audiences, resulting in poor box office performance. When changes overshadow the essence of a story, it can feel more like a lecture than entertainment. For Snow White, this has raised serious concerns about the direction of Disney's live-action remakes, putting pressure on future projects to avoid repeating the same missteps and alienating their loyal audience base.
That the budget is as overinflated as it is, and we've talked about that on this channel. I see this being another maybe $5 to $10 million loss, just like The Little Mermaid was. Definitely not going to be a good first quarter for.
With backlash mounting, Disney is scrambling to save Snow White 2025 through costly reshoot and a complete overhaul of its marketing team. These efforts mere months before the film's release mirror Sony's chaos during the Interview 2014 debacle. When late-stage controversies led to massive changes and uncertainty, the reshoot are an expensive gamble, adding millions to an already bloated budget, while firing the marketing team feels like a band-aid solution to a deeper issue. These desperate moves underscore Disney's struggle to adapt its live-action strategy as fans grow wary of remakes prioritizing modern messaging over storytelling. The future of Disney's live-action division hangs in the balance, with Snow White becoming a cautionary tale of what not to do.
I think this movie should be canceled. Hot take, I know. I was so excited, but I refused. I refuse for Rachel Zegler to go on this press tour. She just got out of hot water.
Rachel Ziegler's outspoken comments about Snow White have had a serious impact on her career, with many producers reportedly steering clear of her. This controversy has parallels to Katherine Heigl's fallout after she publicly criticized Grey's Anatomy and knocked up, alienating both fans and industry professionals. Ziegler's remarks about the original Snow White being outdated have not only angered audiences but also raised questions about her suitability for high-profile roles. While she remains tied to the ongoing Snow White reshoot, her career trajectory seems uncertain. The backlash surrounding this project could define her reputation for years, making her involvement in the reshoots a critical moment that may either salvage or further jeopardize her future in Hollywood. Disney's struggles with Snow White 2025 might push the studio to rethink its reliance on live-action remakes. Fans are growing tired of reboots that prioritize modern messaging over the timeless charm of the originals. The success of Frozen